YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I know I kind of lied and said I wouldn't be going live here anymore, but yeah, I want to see how much we can build the subscribers because we're already so close to 3,000. So if you can hit the like and subscribe button if you're just joining this, it would be much appreciated. And yeah, today we're talking about why people are upset about cutting wasteful government spending. And you can criticize whoever you want to criticize, but if you think about the facts of the American history, when the hell did they ever cut any of the wasteful spending? All they do year after year is add more useless programs and add more useless stuff and more useless spending for other countries. We don't need to pay to push transgenderism in other countries. We don't need to pay for colleges in Australia. We don't need to do any of that stuff. And it took probably like 100 years to figure that out. That we need to fix the government. Like, who would have thought that all you got to do is figure out where all the wasteful spending is, and you can actually rebalance the country's budget. It can't just keep going into debt year after year. The country will go bankrupt. But in other news, that's a popular subject. In other news, RFK Jr. announces the name of a new health organization. Now, yeah, it's a new health organization. Now, this man hasn't publicly. It's been, I don't know, like 2 months or something like that. He hasn't once he hasn't so far in the 2 months he's been in office. He hasn't tried to get rid of vaccines or anything that CNN lied and said that he was gonna do. He didn't try to get rid of vaccines yet. All he said is, why can't we research some more of the vaccines and stuff like that? So far he's not doing anything bad, as far as I know. And yeah, he just wants to research some of the vaccines, research some of the medications, research autism. Um, because some people, some doctors, a lot of doctors, this might be a controversial thing. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but I'm not, spreading any medical misinformation or anything because he's literally the health secretary of the United States YouTube. So please, if you're watching this, I'm following all the United and health guidelines and all their beliefs or whatever. I haven't said anything controversial or medical misinformation. Just so we're clear in this video, we're talking about the United States um, health secretary. So he's as official as it gets. Now, you don't need to be a doctor or something like that to do this job. A lot of doctors get paid from pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. They get paid to push drugs, and I've firsthand experienced it when I told a doctor I had a little bit of issues and he was trying to push pills on me and stuff like that. And I told the doctor that those very pills killed about 100,000 people or more last year. And I told him that one of my friends took pills like that, and unfortunately, it caused them to pass away because it causes you to go mental. It causes you to have a mental outbreak. Some of these, I'm not going to get into any specifics because I'm not trying to get claimed by YouTube for medical misinformation. But you can do your own research and figure out what I mean. I haven't given any specifics. I haven't given any medical advice. YouTube. I haven't given any medical advice. I haven't said anything bad about vaccines, or I haven't said anything bad about anything. Those are all good things, great things, and stuff like that. Everyone can get those or whatever. Educate yourself. Don't believe what everyone else says. And yeah, let's see what RFK is saying about the new name of the new health organization in the U.S. And yeah, this is by the news network everyone loves. I mean, they have all-time low views, historically record low views. But we're gonna be watching CNN for this clip because they're the first one that posted about it. So let's see.
NIH, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, but that's just to name a few. So walk us through these significant changes.
Yeah, Manu, I mean, it's a large agency. It was 82,000 employees, and after this, it's going to be 62,000 employees. So about 25% smaller with these cuts, which are designed to save $1.8 billion per year. And as you said, consolidate 28 divisions into 15. So where are these cuts going to come from? Well, 3,500 workers at the Food and Drug Administration are going to be cut, 2,400 at CDC, 1,200 at NIH, 300 at CMS. They are saying that Medicare and Medicaid services won't be cut, or neither will reviewers of drugs, medical devices, and food.
Oh, who knew? All the CNN previous lies about how Medicare is going to be cut for the elderly was a lie. Oh, wow, they admitted it live on CNN. What happened? I thought Elon said he's going to cut it. No, he never said that. That's a damn blatant lie. Unfortunately, they are bringing fear into your heart and mind control. That way they can get all these clicks and views. The more they emotionally abuse you, the more you'll be into the show. They can emotionally abuse you enough to trigger you, then you're stuck watching their show and watching their shitty advertisements, and they're gonna get rich off you. No, you have to watch independent media sources like myself, like real other journalists and stuff like that, not corporate media machines that push misinformation. Now, it's not just CNN that's guilty of this. There's multiple news outlets that are guilty of this.
But Manu, people in the public health world we're talking with say it's impossible to cut this deeply in the federal government and not affect services. So we're going to dig deeper to see.
Says who? CNN?
What RFK Jr. said about the reorganization and this new agency.
We're going to eliminate an entire alphabet soup of departments and agencies while preserving their core functions by merging them into a new organization.
Listen, think about this for a second. Why do we need all these 10,000 health jobs or whatever, and we're literally the most unhealthy, obese, fat country in the damn world? The most obese country with the most high health care costs and health expenses and hospital costs. We have the worst of the worst. Like, worst of the worst. If these people were doing their job, it wouldn't be so messed up. So that means they're doing a poor job.
Administration for a Healthy America, or AHA. We have two goals. The first is obvious, to save the taxpayer money by making our department more efficient. And the second is to radically improve our quality of service.
Now, Manu, of course, AHA goes without saying, sounds a lot like MAHA.
So Meg, as you just said there, they're announcing this new agency called MAHA. So what exactly would that agency do?
So it consolidates 5 different agencies from around HHS.
It's in the name. It makes America healthy again. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys.
And the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. We don't know exactly what it's going to do, but you have to assume, Manu,
What country has the most diabetes? What country has, lower health life expectancy than Asia and Europe and the rest of the world? What country is that? America. That means they're not doing their job good.
Called AHA, sounding just like MAHA. It was probably going to be one arm of how RFK Jr. tries to implement these priorities he's talked about around chronic diseases, but just a lot of skepticism and fear from the public health world given his approach to vaccines and other scientific issues where they worry this may not be based on sound science.
All right, Meg Terrell on the latest and a very significant move out of RFK Jr.'s Department of Health and Human Services. Thank you for that report. And I'm joined now at the table with a terrific group of reporters. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez, Tyler Page.
Oh, great.
And Abby Livingston with Punch.
They look like smart people.
Nice to see you.
I'm just kidding. No, they do not.
Sight set on FDA for some time. Look at just what he said last October on this long post on X criticizing the FDA and also ultimately saying, if you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have 2 messages for you. Preserve your records and pack your bags. And it seems like he's fulfilling that mission now.
Yeah, I listen to what
If
he
the
said.
FDA, anybody, any liberal, any Harris supporter, anyone that wants to support the FDA, answer this one question. If the government is so good, then why are we the most unhealthy country in the world? Why are there 12 and 13-year-olds that are 300 freaking pounds? And this is a common occurrence. This is a common occurrence. I'm traveling around I'm in Eastern Europe right now, and not once, not one single time have I seen a 300-pound kid. But when I go to Florida, I can't even walk down the damn street without seeing 300, 200-pound 12 and 13-year-olds. So you know there's a problem with the FDA. What the hell are they approving? And our medicines and our food. It's not okay. You think that's normal for a 12 or 13-year-old to be 300 pounds? There's two problems here, three problems. The healthcare itself, the medicines and stuff like that is poison. Problem two is the food. It's poison and it's horrible for you. Problem three is the parenting. If your kid is 12 years old and starts to get to 200 pounds and you just let him eat a freaking bag of Cheetos after bag of Cheetos, that should be considered child abuse. You're killing your kid. If it was my country, I would say I would be worse than Donald Trump. I would say every single kid that's 200 or 300 pounds and their parents let them do that and they feed them, the kids don't got money, so it's the parents feeding them. I would say every single parent that lets their kid get that big, they should be charged with child abuse, because that's exactly what it is. Obesity is the worst addiction. Food is the worst addiction. You can look at meth addicts, crack addicts, anything. Their bodies of meth heads and crackheads, their bodies are less abused than the kids that are 300 pounds at 12. Their bodies are less abused. What happens to a meth head or a crack addict? They lose a lot of weight, their teeth get kicked out, their looks, they get a little bit of wrinkles. But what happens to a 300-pound 12-year-old? They end up getting so big they can't move. They have a bunch of extra wrinkly skin. Their teeth probably fall out. Their organs start to fail. Literally every single thing you can think of is what happens to them is worse than literally a crack addict or a drug addict. So if you're going to ask me what's worse, a drug addiction or a food/obesity addiction, I mean, drugs are one hell of a thing. It ruins people's lives. But you know what else ruins people's lives? The food and the healthcare system in the United States. This man, RFK Jr., is a damn American hero. He needs a purple medal. He needs a Medal of Honor. He needs some kind of medal for his work. Because that man is saving America. He's getting rid of red 5 dye. How the hell is America like the only damn country in the world that still lets you use red number 5 and all these other food coloring dyes and all these poisonous stuff? Now, RFK has already been pushing companies like Steak and Shake to make their fries better. Now, Steak and Shake is posting on Twitter, like, what quality foods do you want? We're going to change the meat next. We're going to get rid of seed oils next. Like, these are all things they want to do because they're inspired by RFK. He hasn't put any actual regulations or anything like that. I'm not sure how he's getting them to do it, but I think they know what's coming. He's going to ban these things. He's going to push them to do it. He's going to give them incentives, maybe tax incentives, stuff like that. If you're new here, hit the like and subscribe button. And we're talking about Make America Healthy again right now. And this kind of goes along with the spending cuts and the wasteful spending, because he also wants to get rid of the wasteful spending. Why the hell are we overspending on our food and our healthcare workers, giving all these people jobs, but we have the worst in food and healthcare in the world? We're overspending and we're getting under-delivered.
Illustrate what's happening now. Look, This is something that they have previewed multiple times. They've been teasing it. He's acting on it. You were talking about, and Meg was talking about Maha. Don't underestimate the power
Maha.
that buoyed him to this. That is an incredibly important constituency for.
That's right, Maha. Make America healthy again.
Now, I think the other part of
I got a
this,
Trump hat. Now I need a Maha hat. Because if you want the truth of my supporting, here's how it goes. If you're talking about my favorite 3 people in government. Number 1, Elon Musk. He's getting rid of all the wasteful spending. Number 2, RFK. He's getting rid of all the unhealthy food and he's fixing the medicines and the food of the country. Now, I love those 2 people more than I even love Donald Trump. Donald Trump is number 3 on the list. I love Donald Trump as well, but he's number 3 on the list. He's not even my favorite. He's not even the main reason why to vote for him, in my opinion. The main reasons is RFK Jr. and Elon. Like, those are the main reasons I think a lot of people did vote for Trump. Like, a lot of people hated Trump, but they love Elon Musk and his idea of getting rid of a wasteful spending in government. That's finally the thing that's going to be done. Obama talked about it, but he didn't do jack. He had the same ideas as Elon, but it was the corporate and bureaucracy that was stopping him. The evilness of the bureaucracy and the Congress member and the judges. These people are getting paid from all this extra spending and money. You don't go out and try to kill someone and attack someone like Elon unless you're getting big bucks, and he's taking it away from you.
Or functions when he was describing all of these layoffs. That's going to take time to see whether that can actually be fulfilled when you are cutting that deep.
Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here.
Something that came up during his confirmation hearings is what accountability is he going to have? This came up, for example, with Senator Bill Cassidy on the floor. That is going to be the question that we just can't answer right now. Experts are obviously warning that if you cut this deep, there are going to be ramifications. But this is something that will be seen over time. And the question is, how is the department going to be held accountable as to whether or not they can actually preserve those core functions and not have some of these services completely fall through the cracks from Americans across the country?
Yeah, and look, these are the number of cuts, job cuts, as Meg reported, but just to remind viewers, 3,500 cuts to FDA, 2,400 cuts to CDC, 1,200 to NIH, and 300 for centers and for Medicare and Medicaid. How do you think Republicans are going to deal with this? A lot of them have expressed some concern about how quickly they have moved to purge employees, given that some of them are in their own districts.
Well, I mean, we see Republicans are very reluctant to criticize anything in this administration. What I'm watching for is, I spoke this morning with a source who works on healthcare policy. She said that these cuts are going to target hospitals, research and clinical trials. I think the political implications of this are going to come months down the road, and they are going to be severe. If you're in experimental cancer research, this could be a very big problem, and Republicans will then begin to feel the pressure.
What are you hearing from inside the administration on this?
Yeah, look, I think this is part of a broader strategy, not just to reduce the overall federal workforce, but to also take more control of what's going on within these agencies. One of the things that RFK Jr. said in that video was he was consolidating these departments that will then report more directly to him instead of some of these sub-agencies. And so it's not just about reducing the workforce to be able to tout, I've saved the government, the taxpayers this much money. It's also to have more influence and power over these individuals. And I think that's what's really important here, as you guys were talking about what the impacts are going to be for Americans. When you look down the road,
I'm surprised CNN isn't bad-mouthing this man.
Vision of what healthcare policy
They did a little bit,
and there
but
are some concerns, not just from Democrats, we should remember, but also from Republicans, specifically as it relates to his views on vaccines, vaccine safety, and vaccine trials. And so if he had more control over data and personnel overseeing those matters, that could portend trouble, not just for Democrats who are critical of his views on vaccines, but we can't forget the hearings in the Senate. That was a question he was repeatedly asked, and there were some real concerns from Republicans.
And Bill Cassidy, the chairman of the
yet he hasn't done one thing to get rid of those medications for people. He wants people to be able to get any jab they want or be able to eat a McDonald's cheeseburger. But there's certain things he has to do to make it healthier. Let's look up and see what else we can find about this man, RFK. Because he's a legend. Like I said before, he's my second favorite person in the U.S. government. Even more than Trump.
Hey, everybody, I'd like to share with you a paradox that I've encountered here in Washington, D.C. as the new Secretary of HHS. Our department is filled for the most part with competent, conscientious public service, and yet the agency has been inefficient as a whole. Over the past 4 years during the Biden administration, HHS's budget increased by 38%, and its staffing increased by 17%, but all that money has failed to improve the health of Americans. In fact, the rate of chronic disease and cancer increased dramatically as our department has grown. Our lifespan has dropped, so Americans now live 6 years shorter than Europeans. We are the sickest nation in the world, and we have the highest rate of chronic disease. The U.S. ranks last among 40 developed nations in terms of health, but we spend 2 to 3 times more per capita than those nations. As Secretary, I now understand why all this money is not improving our health. HHS is a sprawling bureaucracy that encompasses literally hundreds of departments, committees, and other offices. You know how bureaucracies work. Every time a new issue arises, they tack on another committee. This leads to tremendous waste and duplication, and worst of all, a loss of any unified sense of mission. The resulting pandemonium has injured American health and damaged department morale. When I arrived, I found that over half of our employees don't even come to work. HHS has more than 100 communications offices and more than 40 IT departments and dozens of procurement offices and 9 HR departments. In many cases, they don't even talk to each other. They're mainly operating in silos. Sometimes these sub-agencies work at cross purposes with each other. Some of these little fiefdoms, for example, are so insulated and territorial that they actually hoard our patient medical data and sell it for profit to each other. Instead of remedying the chronic disease crisis, perverse incentives have administrators checking boxes and grading their own homework while public health declines. A few isolated divisions are neglecting public health altogether and seem only accountable to the industries that they're supposed to be regulating. In one case, defiant bureaucrats impeded the secretary's office from...
They're impeding the secretary's office. You heard him. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're here. We love this man, RFK Jr. He is a legend. He is a legend. American health system is messed up. Most expensive insurance costs, worst healthcare system, most expensive hospitals, worst food. We still got colored dyes in our food. No other countries have red number 5 and stuff like that in it. Not here, at least in Europe where I'm at, and I believe in most other countries outside of Europe as well. This is poison for the people. Hit the like and subscribe button. We have to change this. And just like the bureaucracy of the government that was wasting so much money that Doge discovered, paying for transgenderism to be pushed in other countries, and we're paying for colleges in Australia. We don't owe Australia a damn dollar. We're not paying for that anymore. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel.
Accessing the closely guarded
Hi,
databases
Mr. Kumar.
that reveal the dangers of certain drugs and medical interventions. I have some good news, though. As part of President Trump's Doge workforce reduction initiative, we're going to streamline HHS to make our agency more efficient and more effective. We're going to imbue the agency with a clear sense of mission to radically improve the health of Americans and to improve agency morale. We're going to eliminate an entire alphabet soup of departments and agencies while preserving their core functions by merging them into a new organization called the Administration for a Healthy America, or AHA. We have 2 goals. The first is obvious, to save the taxpayer money by making our department more efficient. And the second is to radically improve our quality of service. I want to promise you now that we're going to do more with less. No American is going to be left behind. Our key services delivered through medical...
Just like Barack Obama said, no American will be left behind. Except when Barack Obama made Obamacare, he screwed everything up, and only the people that basically didn't have a job got free insurance. Everyone else had to pay more than ever. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to my channel. I do travel, I talk about the world, I talk about politics, I talk about geopolitics, global politics, whatever you want to call it, I talk about it.
Care and Medicaid, the FDA.
I'm a US citizen, I'm living abroad, but I'm discussing all kinds of different politics.
Agencies will enter a new era of responsiveness and a new era of effectiveness. We're going to consolidate all of these departments and make them accountable to you, the American taxpayer, and the American patient. These goals will honor the aspirations
Hit the
of
like and
vast majority
subscribe.
of existing HHS employees who actually yearn to make America healthy. 28 great divisions will become 15. The entire federal workforce is downsizing now, so this will be a painful period for HHS as we downsize from 82,000 full-time employees to around 62,000. We're keenly focused on paring away excess administrators while increasing the number of scientists and frontline health providers so that we can do a better job for the American people. We're going to streamline our agency and eliminate the redundancies and invite everyone to align behind a simple, bold mission. I want every HHS employee to wake up every morning asking themselves, what can I do to restore American health today? I want to empower everyone in the HHS family to have a sense of purpose and pride and a sense of personal agency and responsibility to this larger goal. We're going to save taxpayers nearly $2 billion a year, and we're going to return HHS to its original commitment to public health and gold standard science. I want this agency to be once again a revered scientific institution that once made HHS the envy of the world. I want everyone who works here to be proud of this agency, to be proud of their work, to feel a renewed inspiration and their own sense of responsibility for our success in restoring America to good health. Streamlining HHS is part of a shift to new priorities, especially ending the chronic disease epidemic with clean water, safe food, effective medicine, good science.
Ending the chronic disease epidemic. Let me know where you guys are coming from, inside the United States, outside of the United States. I love to talk to you guys, so please drop a comment. Do you think Maha will make America healthy again? We have the most chronic disease out of any country in the world. The worst chronic disease out of any country in the world. The United States of America. That is pathetic and that is sad. We have really low quality food, really low standards for food. We use food dye in our food just to poison American people. If you ever check the back of the ingredients, there's hundreds of ingredients on your at-home microwavable food. That is not real food. That is not edible. Do you guys understand that? Are you inside the United States or outside of the United States? Drop a comment below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Mostly just subscribe because we're almost at 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys.
Radical transparency and a healthy environment. I think most Americans would agree with me that throwing more money at healthcare isn't going to solve the problem, or it would have solved it already. Obviously, what we've been doing hasn't worked. That's why we're making this dramatic overhaul. But the real overhaul is even bigger. The real overhaul is improving the health of the entire nation to make America healthy again.
What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know where you guys are coming from. I love to hear it. What state? What city?
People should have.
Measles cases in Kansas have now risen to 23.
Why does RFK Jr. have to talk about measles? Everyone knows what to do for that. Everyone knows to get this. for that if they want to protect themselves against it. Kids know about it. It's not a new medicine. It's nothing that he has to promote for these pharmaceutical companies to get billions. No, that's not his
How about
job.
this for
He's not here to promote medicines for pharmaceutical companies to get billions. Every single person already knows about it. It's nothing new.
Calls to ban one of Big Pharma's most powerful tools. RFK calls to ban one of Big Pharma.
Let's check out Valuetainment. This man is straight out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I believe.
RFK calls to ban one of Big Pharma's most powerful tool.
Yeah, Americans love cheap gas station food. We don't like being told what to eat. And I would live if Mr. Kennedy helped us get healthier. Well, Mr. Kennedy is a libertarian. He does believe people should have free choice. But at the same time, he wants to take that gas station food from 300 ingredients. He wants to put it to 5 ingredients. You know, like a gas station food shouldn't have 300 ingredients. It should just have, you know, like a handful of ingredients, like every other food in the world has. Like, guys, if you check the back of the ingredients and it has 200 ingredients, it's just too much. If anything you eat has more than literally 10 ingredients, you probably shouldn't be eating it or drinking it. Now, I know Coca-Cola is bad. I kind of wish maybe, you know, there's something that we could do about that. I think like corn syrup and stuff like that is really bad for you. But honestly, I'm a bit of a victim of it. I love Coca-Cola, just like Donald Trump. But I don't drink Diet Coke, luckily, because that's even worse for you. But I think he should get rid of aspartame and he should get rid of stuff like that because that is true poison. There's many studies on it saying that it's cancer-causing, Diet Coke, because of the aspartame. Now, there could be other diet drinks you can drink out there, guys. Or if you just really like Coca-Cola and you need it that badly, just drink regular Coke. The sugar will help you, the sugar will be better for you than the actual, like it'll be better for you than the diet soda. Sugar's not as bad as aspartame, which is in diet
Makers, despite
soda.
uncertain political prospects. By the way, if they pull this off, we had this conversation. I had a conversation with him on this, and I had the conversation with Vivek on this. So Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah, everything in moderation is okay. What did I say that's wrong? Regular soda is worse than... No, sugar is not worse than aspartame. I promise you that. Sugar causes cancer as well, but aspartame is way worse. Way worse. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you right now proof. Let's ask ChatGPT, because there's no way. There's no way. Even if it tells me it is, then there's no way. What's worse for you, aspartame or sugar? The answer it gave was it depends on the context, what you mean by worse. It says both of them have downsides. Sugars, especially refined and added sugars, are linked to obesity, diabetes, fatty liver disease. Aspartame contains almost no calories, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar. I guess it's better for people that are diabetic or if you're like 600 pounds. But the main health concern it contributes to headaches, digestive issues, neurological effects, and cancer. You really want something that gives you that. You really want something that gives you that. I do not recommend it. If you're drinking Diet Coke, please get off of it. First off, if you're on a diet, why are you drinking Coca-Cola in the first place? Like, if you're over 300 pounds, you shouldn't be drinking any fizzy drinks, any pops. You should be drinking water. Your body needs to be flushed out. But it depends what you mean by worse, because they both have negative side effects. But if we're talking about which one causes cancer, it's not health advice. I'm just reading what it says about it. Someone really likes their Diet Coke. I can understand, sir. Donald Trump also loves his Diet Coke. But by the type of your rhetoric, I can see that you do not like Trump, is my guess. No, you're going ballistic over me discussing Diet Coke. Who has a neurological defect? You're a neurological effect. That doesn't even make any sense. You meant neurological defect. And once again, it's not medical advice and it's not medical information. It is medical information, but it's not medical disinformation. Sorry. I'm just reading off of what Google says. It's not health advice, it's not medical advice. Well, let's see. Who's in better shape, me or you? I guarantee you it's me because you drink Diet Coke. You're probably a bit overweight. No offense to anyone that's overweight. I have respect for everybody, but
Trump has HHS has alarm drug makers with his push.
I guarantee you I'm more in shape than you. I can run miles past you. I can do more push-ups than you.
Trump to do in order to correct the chronic disease epidemic is to ban pharmaceutical advertising on TV. He noted there's only 2 countries in the world, us and New Zealand. And,
if you're more healthy than me, let's do a push-up contest right now. I'll invite you to the live stream. We can see who can do more push-ups. I guarantee you won't do it.
Backed by allies like Elon Musk, who wrote on X on November 19th.
You probably can't even do a single push-up.
And Dr. Baccharia, Trump's pick for National Institutes of Health, who said on X May 30th, 2023, because of DTC ad, drug companies like Pfizer hold a crib.
This guy drinking Diet Coke is having a fit about it, Angelo. All because I told him that Diet Coke isn't healthy for you. And I told him about the aspartame and about the bad health effects of it. I read it off of Google. And I told him that if you're 300 pounds, why are you drinking Diet Coke? And he just went ballistic. Now he doesn't have anything to say when I said I can run miles past you. Or if you're so healthy, let's do a push-up contest right now on live. Yeah, no response to the push-ups because he's scared. I'm not giving medical advice. How many times do I have to say I'm not giving medical advice? I simply looked it up and saw the negative side effects. Do research on what's in aspartame. It's in Diet Coke. Trump loves Diet Coke. I'm not against stopping anyone from drinking Diet Coke. I'm just here to tell people that aspartame is not good. It's not good. It's not medical advice, it's not anything, it's just facts. I'm not malnourished, but I think that's something a fat guy would say to feel better about himself, because I'm a perfectly healthy weight. And I'm tall, and you're probably short and obese, so it's okay with me. Look how healthy and glowing my skin looks compared to your skin from drinking all that damn Diet Coke. No, I know you drink Diet Coke, so I know I'm in better shape than you because no one that doesn't drink it wouldn't go ballistic over it.
Editorial
You wouldn't go ballistic over Diet Coke if you didn't drink it.
American media suggests media buys from ad revenue. Adam.
PBD, I gotta give credit to where credit's due. You called this a long time ago. So in that
You're mad about RFK making America healthy, aren't you? He's gonna make you healthy. He's gonna make you lose a couple 100 pounds.
We're talking about Saudi. We're talking about the difference between New York City and Saudi. And in that exact same conversation, shout out to you, Zuby, we talked about what countries allow advertising on TV. Very obscure stat. Why would you even know this? Advertising for Big Pharma. It was New Zealand.
If you're 43 years old watching me, maybe you should think twice. I don't care I don't care a damn if you know martial arts. There's 300-pound teenagers that do martial arts. You think that makes you tough? You think that makes you tough? You drink Diet Coke. You're not tough. You're not in the army. You're not any of that.
Citizens still watching the mainstream media news. And then number 3, which you're very much talking against, is Big Pharma. And then what percentage of their ad revenue comes from Big Pharma?
If you don't drink Diet Coke, then why are you crying so hard about it? Why are you crying about it? I know 43-year-old men that sit on YouTube like you drink Diet Coke. I know it for a fact.
The original clip, this is where RFK made the announcement back in October. And then there's also.
I don't know what I said to trigger you so bad. Is it because I read off the potential negative side effects of aspartame? That's literally all I did. I said, I looked it up. I said, here's the potential side effects of aspartame from Google. And that triggered you. You said, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're giving medical advice. You're giving medical advice. I'm not giving medical advice. When did I give you medical advice? I said, drink all the Diet Coke you want. Well, you can't do a single push-up, and no, that doesn't mean you're right. It means I'm still right because I got it right off the internet. If you anywhere on any website, look up aspartame. There's nowhere that says it's good for you. Nowhere says it's good for you. It's not good for you. Like, there's no argument of this. Like, I won. It's over. There's no disagreeing with it unless you just want to make up blatant lies.
I hear that.
That's what I'm talking about, PBD.
This is a while ago. Georgienko.
Yeah. From the cigar lounge.
Go for it. So you know who the third one is that's keeping cable in business?
Pharma.
Pharma. Do you know what percentage of every dollar on sponsorship and ads cable TV?
But if you
is from
do more
pharma?
push-ups than me, it does prove you're not
Percentage.
obese, a
For every
Diet
dollar,
Coke drinker.
percentage. So think about movie commercials.
My skin and hair is guaranteed better than your 43-year-old old-ass skin. Your shit is wrinkled, boy. Wrinkled.
75%.
Okay, ding, ding, ding.
You're probably divorced. Your wife probably left
Watch how
you.
crazy this is. Watch how crazy this is.
My hair looks fucking beautiful. Your hair's fucking falling out and shit because you're so goddamn old and your skin and you drink Diet Coke. That shit's hilarious. You got me laughing. 43-year-old telling a 20-something-year-old that their hair and skin looks bad. Look in the damn mirror.
Answer the question. Is it
Knee-ups aren't push-ups.
getting more people taking drugs? Okay. What's wrong with that?
I don't know how tall you are, but I guarantee you I'm taller than you too, and I'm stronger than you. I'm taller than 99% of the human population. So yeah,
Then why is it out of nearly 200 countries in the world?
I'm an NBA basketball player height. I don't think you're an NBA basketball player height.
That's a good-looking, smart guy right there, Pat. I don't know.
Yeah, let me tell you.
By the way, is that Jenko's girl?
Yeah.
Wife. Good for him, buddy.
Let me tell you something about.
No, I told you, if you beat me in a push-up contest, that proves that you're healthy. Yeah, that proves you're healthy. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of respect then. I'll say, okay, my bad, I was wrong about you. You are healthy.
Every one of these guys is taking money from.
Yeah.
Just so you know that. Every one of them.
Yeah, martial
75
arts.
years old, you know, back problems, knee problem, hip problem.
That's all you gotta say is martial arts, martial arts.
If that number is
You do care about politics and Diet Coke. You were just crying about it. You either were crying about it because you either hate Donald Trump or you're a Diet Coke drinker.
Reduction to a $6 million salary.
What did I say that's moronic? Please give me an example of something stupid I said.
So if you're paying somebody $6 million at CNN, now it's $1.5 million. You know how different life is at $6 million versus
What
1.5?
false
It's a very
claims?
different life. Living in New York.
Nothing I said about Diet Coke was wrong. Prove it wrong.
10% of it to your manager that negotiated that deal. Okay, so $1.5 million, 150 goes to him. So then you're left with whatever, and then you're left with. Now you're no longer in New York able to live on Long Island or whatever they had. Lifestyle changes very quickly. If he approves this, half of mainstream media companies are for sale.
Wow.
Half of them are for sale. And an aggregator is going to come in and pick them up and create a holding company, whatever you want to call it.
No one believes you.
Companies are going to be together. That's what'll happen, because if they don't know how to make money, not taking money from.
I don't know what he likes, honestly. He's crying about
When
something.
Tom and I one time were in a Vistage meeting. We're talking 15 years ago. 16
What did I say that's gonna lead people to bad health decisions? Saying that you might as well just drink regular Coke unless you have diabetes because of all the negative side effects? Like headaches out of nowhere and stuff like that from Diet Cokes? What false statements? You haven't given a single example because you can't. You're the idiot here. You can't give an example. Give an example. Come on, give one. Go ahead, I'm waiting for it. I'll pull it up again on Google. Do you want to read do you want to read it?
Hey, everybody, I'd like to share with you a paradox that Hey, everybody.
What did I cherry pick? He's fuming in my comment section. Unfortunately, it's FDA approved aspartame, so they're the ones that want to protect it because they get paid by the big pharma companies. But if you do your own research, it has a lot of negatives. Headaches, potential cancer, digestive issues, neurological effects. Yeah, I'm glad. They know that I'm educated. They know I don't just pull shit out of my ass like you do. I actually do research on the topics. Look at what other countries say about aspartame. In fact, let's ask them, do other countries even use aspartame in their Diet Coke? Do other countries even use aspartame in their Diet Coke? Probably not, is my guess, but we'll see. Okay, no, I was wrong. The only countries that, no, I was kind of right. The only countries that use aspartame in the Diet Coke is United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, Latin America. So yeah, basically in all the majority of countries, they unfortunately use aspartame. But that doesn't mean that there's not negative health effects. Bro's been on this earth for 47 years and decided this is what he wants to do with himself. Yeah, a little bit pathetic, honestly. Why the hell is a 47-year-old twice my age on here crying about Diet Coke? Like, he's definitely 300 pounds, probably still living at his mom's house. That's a little bit sad, honestly. I kind of feel bad for the guy that he's having such a crybaby fit on my YouTube. Let's look up a video about aspartame since you want to talk about it so much. I know this is a main subject that Democrats go crazy over.
Overseeing.
Yeah, he for sure left. He was getting sick of getting teamed up on. But we're still going to show a video about it anyway, just to piss him off, just in case he's here. What are the negative... Aspartame. No! I don't know how to spell this shit, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on, I can figure it out. I'm a smart guy. I'm not a stupid guy like that guy was. Alright, I figured it out. Yeah, he freaking left. Bro is 47 years old crying about that shit. He's like, no, Diet Coke, you're giving medical misinformation. You're giving people health advice. I'm not giving you damn health advice. Do whatever you want. I said it a million times.
The World Health Organization recently weighed in on the potential...
Look, literally the World Health Organization is talking about this shit.
The World Health Organization recently weighed in on the potential health risks of aspartame, but just how bad is this artificial sweetener for you? According to the recommendation, your Diet Coke is safe.
Supposedly. Safe enough to drink right now. You won't die this minute.
The World Health Organization concluded that aspartame may cause liver cancer or other health problems, but likely only when consumed in extremely high amounts. WHO recommends that people drink no more than 9 to 14 aspartame sweetened sodas a day, or about 74 packets of aspartame sweetener.
Otherwise, you'll die instantly.
Surveys show that
I'm just kidding.
drink no more than about 2 soda cans a day.
Yeah, sure they do. Sure they do. They drinking a lot more than 2 sodas a day to get 300 pounds at 12 years old. They drinking a lot more soda than that to get that big.
The World Health...
Look, bro doesn't even want to admit, literally the World Health Organization said that shit causes liver cancer. He's like, no, it doesn't. You're giving health advice. Poor bastard thought...
200 times sweeter than sugar, aspartame is used in everything from diet soda to yogurt, even chewable vitamins. The US Food and Drug Administration says the sweetener is one of the most studied food additives and
No,
still
it's
finds
not.
it can be safely used.
No,
But
it's not.
aspartame hasn't been without controversy. Today's
This is the
report
UK
suggests
fake
sweeteners could be
news,
labelled
the
possibly
BBC
carcinogenic.
news. The World Health Organization literally just said it causes liver cancer. Like, holy Christ. That guy's gone though for sure. He couldn't stop running his mouth for 2 damn seconds, so I know he's not in here anymore. Is the bro fat blue crab still in here?
We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that high fructose corn syrup, highly refined sugars, and consuming foods regularly, daily, consistently high in sugar, we know this is bad for you. That is not a question. That's not even up for discussion. And we know from science that artificial sweeteners, while they can have side effects or some undesired effects in individual people, they are generally safe and they are not causing any actual problem in the population.
Yes, they are. Bull
I've read
fucking
whole
shit.
articles. I've seen entire websites.
Bullshit, Mr. Dark.
If you like to drink
Mr. Dark and Martin. The World Health Organization said it themselves. I'm not giving health advice. This isn't about that. I'm doing research on a topic. This is nothing with medical misinformation or information. This isn't medical information. None of it is. This is just free discussion on a topic. That dude was so funny though. He was getting so damn mad just me talking about Diet Coke.
Hey, everybody, I'd like to share with.
And Lyndon, as you know,
He's crying right now in his bedroom. He's like, damn, they bullied me. They bullied me.
Lovingly feed them chewable vitamin. These days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children. And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese. Or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way. Until the early 1990s, our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal. But now, in 2024, we're finally waking up to this cataclysm and we're asking ourselves, how in the world did this happen? A big part of it is our diet. Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food, a few people get very, very rich, and the toxins end up in every supermarket aisle. Let me show you what I mean. Doritos, Cheez-Its, Captain Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tetrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces.
It's called coal tar, and I've actually sued many big industries for legacy contamination of coal tar all around the country because it's so toxic and it's so harmful to the environment and human beings. A century ago, it was just an obnoxious industrial byproduct that everybody was trying to figure out ways to get rid of. One of the ways that they did that was by paving roads. But then a British chemist figured out that the coal tar could be used to derive fabric dye. And if fabric dye, why not food? Food manufacturers began using it to cover up the discoloration of low-quality foods that they wanted to pass off on unsuspecting customers. They didn't know back then that this yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD, hormone disruption, gene damage, anxiety, depression.
You want that for your kids? Then drink poison. Eat poison then.
Tartrazine is heavily restricted in other countries. In some countries, foods with tartrazine have a warning label that it may cause ADHD in children. Today, it's made from petroleum, not coal tar. Either way, it's crazy to add this to your kids' favorite foods. It doesn't even change the flavor. This yellow dye isn't just in junk food. It's in the foods that we consider healthy. It's in everyday kids' snacks like popcorn, mac and cheese, fruit snacks. It's in sports drinks like Gatorade and so-called vitamin water. It's even added to chicken broth, to corn, to pickles, to mustard, and to yogurt. And so, of course, our kids get sick. And we lovingly feed them chewable vitamins, which have, surprise, tartrazine. And so the cycle continues until the coughs and asthma kick in, at which point you go to pick up some cough syrup. And yeah, you guessed it, tartrazine. I've been picking on tartrazine today, but that's just one of at least 100 chemical poisons that our health agencies allow into our children's food. I can make a video just like this to talk about Red 40, BHA, BHD, potassium bromate, chemical after chemical, and on and on and on. If just one of them can cause all of these problems, imagine what they're doing in combination. That has never been studied. If we took all of these chemicals out, our nation would get healthier immediately. We'd have fewer sick days. We'd have better focus. We'd have less anxiety. Our kids would learn more easily. We'd lose weight. We'd have more energy. We'd have fewer tumors and longer lives. It's not all dark. Over the past 16 years, the government has banned 8 chemical additives that cause cancer, genetic damage, asthma, and many of the other health conditions as tartrazine does. And you know what's interesting? All 8 of those crucial steps forward in our kids' health were taken under President Trump. But the Democrats who claim to be all about healthcare have stood by watching other countries ban these poisons and make our kids sick, asthmatic, hyperactive, and depressed. They left them on every supermarket shelf in America. They even used your tax money to put them in your kids' school lunch. So their big food and their big ag donors probably gave them all that golden handshake and the big money hug. And their big pharma donors probably call them up and thank them also, because now they're going to make billions selling Adderall, Prozac, and rescue inhalers. Enough is enough. President Trump and I are going to stop the mass poisoning of American children. Together, we're going to make America healthy again.
Awesome. Badass. That man is a legend. Now that we don't got the crybaby in here screaming about Diet Coke and how healthy it is, we can do whatever we want. We don't got to stay on that subject anymore. And none of it was health advice, just so we're clear. YouTube.
Hey,
Agent. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced on
The battle over SNAP benefits, that's food stamps, and what they should cover has spilled over to conservative world on social media. SNAP is, of course, the program that helps low-income families pay for food.
In the past, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called for a reform of SNAP benefits.
Here he was on Laura Ingram's show in February.
The one place that I would say that we need to really change policies is the SNAP program and food stamps.
For sure.
And in school lunches, because there the federal government in many cases is paying for it, and we shouldn't be subsidizing people to eat poison.
Now that poison Kennedy doesn't want the government to subsidize includes soda and processed foods. Over the weekend, a debate over this issue seemed to randomly take right-wing social media by storm.
For instance, podcaster Ian Miles Chung wrote in part, "A new war on soda has begun, targeting purchases made through SNAP. I don't believe it's the government's role to decide what people should or shouldn't eat."
I do.
Last time, the US government
Especially if they're spending taxpayer dollars, yeah. You shouldn't be able to buy poison with that.
Assistant News Director for Florida Voice, Eric Dougherty, jumped in, writing in part, "Important, we cannot allow a Make America Healthy Again messaging to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Let people think and decide for themselves. Anyone can consume soda and be perfectly fine in moderation unless we're just going to ban every food with sugar in it for SNAP Americans." Of course, there was pushback among other conservatives. The Daily Wire's Matt Walsh, for instance, wrote, "I have to assume that anyone defending using food stamps to buy soda must either be on food stamps or they're getting paid by the soda industry. Otherwise, it's a baffling point of view. Why in God's name should taxpayers be forced to subsidize someone else's junk food purchases? Why should someone who has cut back on junk food for budgetary and health reasons still be forced to pay so that other people can buy the junk?" It's a totally indefensible position.
Then, independent journalist Nick Shorter called them all out by making some surprising allegations. He wrote on X, "Over the past 48 hours, several large, supposedly MAGA-aligned influencers posted almost identical points fed to them, convincing you MAHA was out of line for not wanting soda purchases with food stamps or SNAP. Not a single one of them disclosed they were paid for these posts, which led readers to believe a general soda ban was in the works."
To back his allegations, Sorter posted screenshots of a messaging blueprint that he says was distributed by a company called Influenceable. Influenceable is a public relations firm that, according to journalist Li Fang, was offering up to $1,000 per post to oppose SNAP reforms.
Doherty himself appeared to even admit this was the case, writing in response to Sorter, "Yeah, that was dumb of me. Massive egg on my face. In all seriousness, it won't happen again."
Kennedy even jumped in on the action himself. Podcaster Riley Gaines said that she was offered money to post about the subject, but that she refused. In response, Kennedy wrote, "Thank you for your integrity, Riley. It's troubling that some companies now think they have a right to demand taxpayer money to poison our children." I must be doing something wrong, Niall, because no one ever comes to me and says, "Robbie, here's a bunch of money to say something."
You take that. Take all those chips off the table. Push it away.
I absolutely would not, but no one has ever even tried.
Yeah, same here. But don't even bother. I'm not taking that money.
You're not linked enough with the MAGA world.
You can't buy my opinion.
Too much of an I'm glad to hear you say so.
It's not for sale, good sir.
And then talk about the policy. I think it's bad for influencers of any kind to not, disclose in this case, where it's just they're clearly, without any independent thought, just reflecting talking points that were written by an influencer group. I guess it can be one thing if you already hold those views and, you're getting, if you work, for instance, you can work for a nonprofit that does work on journalism on any kind of issue, and then you get money from like-minded people, so it ends up being a little bit messy, but there's something too transactional here about people just posting verbatim what they were told by a
Well, right. Yeah. Well, then it becomes sort of paid ventriloquism in a way, right? People are actually dictating what you say, allegedly, although Eric Doherty, as you say, seems to have admitted to that. I think it just fuels the distrust not only of legacy media, which is plainly there, but of the new media world. It's like our people who are...
The Diet Coke lover is gone.
And that's the most important thing you have as a,
He couldn't handle my criticisms.
Call ourselves is your integrity and your authenticity.
I said it also has a few negative side effects, just like regular Coke. He didn't like hearing that.
In terms of the issue, my feelings here are slightly mixed for a variety of reasons. So I am for food freedom. One of my concerns about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., frankly.
Oh,
is
I'm
that
for
he was going
food
to
freedom
change the
too, but
health
I don't
department,
think you
start,
should be
you know,
using
banning
food
sugary
stamps to
soda.
buy a
This is
bunch of
very
junk food
typical
in
libertarian,
KFC.
conservative opposition to democratic progressivism, trying to ban or tax sugary sodas or cigarettes or junk food, or Michelle Obama doing it to school, all that kind of stuff. I have been opposed to. Now, the complicating factor here, so the rhetoric they're using is rhetoric I would generally agree with. I'm like, oh, you should be your choice. I agree with that, what you put in your body. But the complicating factor here is this is a government benefit program that is paid for by taxpayers. So the freedom element of it, in my view, doesn't really apply, because this is something the taxpayers paid for, and so it's okay for the government to have limits on it. So I don't, like Matt Walsh, I don't oppose in principle the government saying you can't use this money we are giving you to pay for XYZ things. On the other hand, and I promise I will let you speak.
No, go ahead.
The additional complication there is that money is fungible.
Right.
So if you're a low-income person who gets this benefit, and you're going to the grocery store to buy, a variety of things, it could be clothes and food, and they say you can only use this to buy food. Well, okay, but you still had to buy clothes and food, and it's the same. Money is money. So you're using the money you would have bought for clothes and food just for food. You still have the rest of the money. So if they say you can't use this money to buy junk food, then whatever money you were going to use to buy the other food, you're just using the benefit, because it's all the same. Money is money regardless.
Right.
So it starts to then just be inefficient to me if they're saying you can't use the money for these things.
Yeah.
But they can still get the things with the other money they have, unless you're so desperately poor that literally the only thing you can afford to buy is what you're getting is what you're getting from SNAP. And I don't think SNAP is generous enough for that to be the case.
Right.
So it ends up being, I don't know. So all that said, I don't really know, because that's my complicating.
I think it is a complicated topic. My view of this is we as a society have decided that we can't let a massive number of low-income people lapse into malnutrition or starvation for want of money. And therefore, about 42 million people in this country are on SNAP benefits of some kind. Now, there are some restrictions already in place. You can't buy alcohol, you can't buy tobacco, you can't buy medicine, which I find curious. You can't buy vitamins and supplements, for example. Beyond those kind of obvious restrictions, I am not in favor of more restrictions, because I think that...
So you shouldn't be able to buy vitamins, but you can buy KFC and Coca-Cola. Alright, I'm over with this guy with the hill. He has no freaking brain cells. Talking about you should be able to buy Coca-Cola and KFC, but vitamins, no. We shouldn't place any more restrictions. There's already restrictions. There's already restrictions on KFC, or not on KFC, on vitamins. We should just keep letting them buy KFC and Coca-Cola with their food stamps. Bro has 0 brain cells. The Hill, once again, is another media outlet with 0 brain cells. We can make that 3 total media outlets minimum on mainstream news networks with no brain cells left in them. At least he didn't say a blatant lie like Congress members have been saying. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Don't hit the like button, that pisses me off. Just hit the subscribe button. I thought it was funny that one bro couldn't say one thing that I said that was false or misinformation. And I wasn't giving health advice or medical advice. None of that was ever given in this video. So YouTube, don't come back at me. In the comment section, don't come at me. I'm not giving health advice. All I said is, I'll restate it again, both regular Coke and Diet Coke have issues. Unless you have diabetes, I really don't understand why you're drinking Diet Coke. Aspartame has plenty of side effects. You can look it up yourself. According to the World Food Health Organization, there's a possibility, possibility pretty much means yeah, possibility of getting liver cancer from aspartame. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully bro doesn't actually drink Diet Coke. even though he's like 47 years old and said my hair and skin looks bad. I laughed my ass off at that. He's so old, I know for a fact he doesn't work out. He's 300 pounds. He drinks Diet Coke. His hair and skin are both falling off from all the damn weird drinks he's probably drinking besides Diet Coke, because apparently he doesn't drink that. Anyway, guys, hit the like and subscribe button. I gotta go now. Really appreciate all the views on this live stream, but I gotta go. I got stuff to do. Peace out.